Let's start understanding the automatic account determination with system centric. What happens in the system, how this GL account will be determined automatically in the system. So to make it more understandable way, so GL accounts are nothing but it's a general ledgers where you, if you remember, in any of the companies or plant and warehouse, so people used to maintain big books, right? They literally used to maintain on the books writing like what materials today we received, how much stock we received in this, how many types of products are belong to some, like for example it is raw materials, so this will be used for your production, and there are some materials brochures that you got delivered and that you use it for your company products promotions, and there is some more materials you received, customer might be returned those your products which you already sold. So like that there will be a number of things to come to your warehouse and goes out also from your warehouse. So these all these transactions, what is coming in, what is going out, how much that value is coming in or how much value that is going out, all that you have to you can do this with the help of GL accounts. So it's a general ledger where you track all the details. Okay, let's see it in the system how general ledger looks in SAP. So these are the transaction keys. So copy, and if you go to this transaction, so here you can give your GL account if you know, or you want to see all GL accounts, general ledgers within your company code. So you can execute it. So it will show you what kind of books your company is maintaining, right? So this 31310 GL account is responsible for down payments made. So like for example, if you made any payment, see for example, if you see 37, that is today's date, there is a payment made which is a down payment 125,000. Let's see, if you want to see the document type, click on this and you will understand, you know. So this is the client and this is the document number. So this is your company code, and so these are, things happened here. So the user is Arjun, it's me actually. So you see, if you want to see more details you can click and see, and if you want to, so which means in this account you as a company owner or a CFO you will come to know, so these are the down payments we made around this much of amount, right? So you'll go to the next book, that is this is for clearing account for payment request. So you're clearing account for payment request, so there was only one request, you cleared it. So if you open this document, and this also you can see like, it's again Arjun, it's me who created this. So like you can also see like, all the basic details of this down payments. So like that, whoever is responsible for these general ledgers who are monitoring, so they will come to know what's happening in our in the company. This is a trade payable general ledger, this is the value. Accounts payable in consignment sales, so this is the accounts payable, still you have to pay for this much of amount to your vendor. So like that. So you can also see, for example, if you go here and you go here, so okay, if you go here and this, okay, you just have to document number and then you'll see, okay, like that. People will see whoever is responsible, so what happened to this document number, why this particular amount has come here, it is slightly bigger than any of the numbers, so that's how they take a decision. So like that you can see the goods, GR, goods issue, GRIR account, how much is to be paid back. So like here, GRIR, that is third party, so this is the GL account. So like this, at a company code you will have all these GL accounts. Okay, now let's say now you are receiving one goods. So I'm talking about only one scenario. So you are receiving goods, GR, and to do this GR you should have a PO, right? In standard process I'm speaking, so you should have a PO. For this PO you submitted this PO with your vendor, and vendor sent the goods to you, and they are in your premises. Now you have to take those stocks into your stock. For that you have to use movement type 101, right? When you do GR, so system will, since it is a PO, if you want to use 101, you should use a standard PO. If you use consignment PO, then it will not be 101, it will be 101K. Okay, now for our scenario you will use only 101, so you are taking a standard PO and GR, and movement type is 101. So the moment system sees that it got selected 101, it knows that, so this transaction has, one is BSX, that is your inventory account, and this is WRX, this is for your GRIR clearing account. So this transaction code, this is transaction, this transaction key, you know, so this is it. So this BSX has one GL account. This tracks all the inventory related transactions, okay, and this is clearing. So since you received this much of material, you received, so for that you have to pay to the vendor, right? So this has a GL account too. So all this book will track all the payments to the vendor which you are liable because of this stock you received here, right? So this is SAP has already configured. So whenever you see movement type 101, and these are the, so transaction keys will come in. So now let's see in the system where they are in the system. Okay, if you go to system /NESPRO, go to SAP reference IMG, and this automatic account determination, you will find it in the metal master, metal management. So here you have valuation and account assignment. Here you have account determination. So mostly we use without wizard account determination concept only. So if you go here, now you will see, so here, see, if you see here you have these movement types 101, right? Same movement type. So you have these value strings, and you have these transaction event keys, KBS, KDM, PRD, price difference. So like that you have all the transaction keys here, so which are relevant for, so this movement types, and it will give you this transaction key. And once you get this transaction key, and there is one area in the system where you attach these. So for example, if you go here, so this is the screen. This is the screen. WB OM. Here you go to account setting. Here so you go to account setting. All these transaction keys. Here you will see all these transaction keys. These transaction keys are linked with movement type. Now I said these transaction keys will have linked with movement type. So if you go to for us transaction keys will have now GL accounts BSX. So if you go to INT, for us it is your chart of accounts. Here you have now go to BSX columns. One is valuation INT valuation modifier. So that is your chart of account. Here you have three columns. One is valuation class, and this is GL account. Valuation modifier. Now I to have, see, for example, you have this BSX account, that and this that is where you are class, and this is a chart of accounts. In this chart of accounts only, so these all these to have, see, for example, you have this chart of accounts account, that is a group of GL accounts, that is where you are, and this is a chart of accounts. In this chart of accounts only, this is the chart of accounts. These all these drop down options. So if you GL accounts are presented, so you will give your chart of accounts. Chart of accounts, you will see all the available GL accounts. Okay, so chart of accounts is nothing but a list of GL accounts. So under this, which are available in this chart of accounts. Now you can. This is the what about this valuation grouping code? Drop down valuation grouping code is the one concept we will discuss. Valuation class also is one concept we will discuss. Okay. So we will see all the when we maintain this too. Okay, so if this equation is matching, list of GL accounts, this GL account will come, which are this is OBYC this chart of accounts. Now you can, this is the equation where what about this valuation grouping code, and so this is the valuation code is the one, and this is the account you are going to discuss. Let's do class also is one concept we will discuss. Okay, so in the system when we maintain this two purchase order ME21, this equation is matching, okay, then and I'm taking this one GL account will come. Okay. And this is a OBYC screen organizations. Right. So this is the equation where your
OBYC
valuation grouping code, and
here
this
go
is
to
the
your
valuation
BSX.
class, and this is the account you're gonna receive it. Let's
Your
do
valuation
one
grouping code is
transaction
0001
and see.
Okay.
Your valuation class is
So
in the system 7920 and your account is
N
300000
purchase order
MU21.
N.
Let's create one purchase order, and
Okay,
let's
and I'm
take this
taking
as
one
your material
vendor
and or yeah. So just take the quantity as 25
organizations
and your plant and your storage location.
open /4
Okay, and save the purchase order.
OBYC.
So your order got saved.
Here go to your BSX.
Since it is a standard purchase order, and let's say goods received. Your valuation grouping code is 0001
/N.
Your valuation
MIGO.
class is
So
7920
here
and your
take
account
goods
is
receipt
and
purchase order
should
purchase order number. And
let's
if you
create
see,
one purchase order. 101 moment type automatically got selected because it is a standard.
This as your
Moment type is
material.
going to be 101 and here also
And
line item also you can see.
Yeah.
So
Your
just
restricted stock that
take the quantity as
you can use
25. It becomes
and
your own
your
stock
plant
and
and
this
storage
transaction.
location.
So you
Okay,
just
and
select
save the purchase
and
order.
enter. So
So
that you're telling
your
that
order
you
got
received
saved.
25 quantities. So you just
Since it is a
select
standard
purchase order
and then
and
save.
Let's do.
So what it is
Goods
telling,
received. In the account determination page, your chart of account
/MIGO
your BSX transaction
So
key. So
here
0001 is
take
the
goods receipt
valuation grouping code, and against purchase order,
ZBIK
not possible.
number, it is saying
ZBIK
here if you
is
see
my valuation class.
101
moment type
which
automatically
means
got selected
the
because it is
material
a standard.
this material
Moment type is going
this
to be
material
101 and
is
here also
using,
line item also you can see.
this material is using
Into your
valuation
restricted
class
stock
as
that-
ZBIK,
which means you can use it.
So if you remember,
It becomes
this
your own
valuation
stock
class
after
is not there.
completing
That's
this
what the
transaction.
system is telling.
Here you see only 7920 is there.
just
So let's
select
create
this.
and
So
enter
one valuation class
so that you're telling that you
ZBIK
received 25 quantities. So
and
you
give this
just
3000
yes, item okay,
and then save.
okay.
So
You
what
saved
it
this
is telling,
transaction,
see,
and now you in the account
to do it.
determination page.
now
Your chart of
if you
account
try to check,
and your
Okay.
BSX
So document is okay.
transaction key.
Post.
So
Now again you got
001
one more error
is
message
the
saying that
valuation
account
grouping
determination
code.
ZBIK is a chart of account,
not possible.
WRX
It
is
saying
transaction key,
ZBIK
and this is a
is
valuation
my
group,
valuation
what
class.
Okay, which means
The material,
go to your this
WRX,
material,
same
this
view.
material is
It is
using
for
if you
WRX.
go,
What it is saying INT.
this material is using valuation class as ZBIK.
Valuation
Okay,
group.
0001.
So if you remember,
This
and
valuation class
this
is not
ZBIK
there.
is not
That's what
possible. It
the
is not
system is
there.
telling.
So
Here you see
give
only
the
7920
is there.
So it is
let's
trying to
create
so
fetch the GL
one
account because
valuation
after
class
completing this transaction,
ZBIK
this transactions, this movement of the goods, like
give
you're
this
taking the stock from your
3000
vendor, and that should increase your stock in the particular GL account. Okay, that is
you
BSX,
saved
right?
this
Now
transaction
WRX, because
and
you're
now
receiving
you
the stock, this WRX
try
should be
to do it.
edited because you're liable to
Now,
pay the vendor
if you try
using this
to
transaction
check,
So now let's go to
okay,
here.
so
and
document
maintain.
is okay.
So one
Post.
valuation class, that is
Now again you got one more
give
error
this
message saying that
GL account determination
enter
for entry.
and save.
So INT is a chart of account,
Not of it.
WRX
So
is
now
transaction
you can
key,
check now.
and this is your valuation
Again,
group.
your document
So
is
what
okay.
it is
Now you post it.
So OBYC.
Super.
See, document got
Go
posted.
to your
So this is your material
WRX.
document. So just view the document,
same view.
and you should be able to see. This time it is for
So go to
WRX. See
OBYC.
what it is saying INT
And
BSX.
So
WRX.
your
Valuation this should be
0001
3000000, and to your material document.
This
After
ZBIK
goods
is
received,
not possible.
you
It is
have
not there
because there is a
So I
goods
couldn't give you
movement
the GL
happened
account.
and your value
So it is
increased by
trying
25
to
quantities.
system should
fetch
post
the
the
GL account because
financial accounting.
after completing this transaction,
available. Very good.
this
Transaction is working.
transactions,
financial
this
accounting
movement
document,
of the
and you
goods,
should be able
like
to see.
you're taking
So
the
transaction
stock
key is
from your
BSX
vendor,
and it is
and
and it
that
came
should
with
increase your
30000.
stock.
So this
in
is
the particular
BSX
GL account, because your stock 25 quantities
that is
increased, so this much of
BSX,
quantity
right?
got
Now
increased.
this WRX,
And because of this,
because you are receiving the stock,
this
you know,
WRX
BSX
should be,
and you should have that offsetting
edited.
entry. So
Because
you
you're
have to pay
liable
this
to
much
pay
of
the vendor
using
so this
this
is
transaction
the
key. So now
191100
let's
is
go
the account
to
which you maintained in
here
WRX.
and
If you go to
maintain.
WRX,
So one,
so if you
valuation
go here,
class,
and
that
see,
is
here is the your
GL. So
and
this is
you
how
give
system
this
finds GL account to GL accounts whenever
enter
you have done the
and
movement
save
in the system. Okay, hope this will
Part
help.
of it.
So
Now,
if there is any doubt,
you can
please
check now.
comment in the video.
Again,
I will
the
try
document is
more video
okay. Now you
if
post
it is
it.
not enough. Super. See, document got posted. So this is your material document.
This is the screen.
So
Just
OM
view the
WB.
document.
Here you
And
go to
you should
account
be
setting.
able to see.
So here you will see all these
go
transaction
to
keys. OBYC. So and these transaction
BSX.
keys are linked with movement type. Now I said
So
these transaction keys will have GL accounts, right? So if you go to this should
for
be
us it is BSX.
300
Now go to
BSX and
go
if you
to
see
your
material document, so that is your chart of
after
account.
the
Here you
goods
have
received,
three
you have
columns. One is
because
valuation
there is a goods movement
valuation modifier happened and your value increased by 25 quantities. Now system
valuation
should
class,
post
and this
the
is
GL financial
example.
accounting. Now to have see
Available,
you
very
have
good.
this
Transaction
account.
is what that
Open this financial account
and this is a chart of
document
accounts,
and you
this
should
chart
be
of
able to
accounts
see
only
your transaction
these
keys
BSX,
all these
and it is
GL accounts and it
and
came with 300
chart of accounts
is a group
so
of
this is
GL accounts,
the
okay?
BSX,
And because your
so
stock
under
25
this
quantities increased, so this much of
key,
quantity got increased.
this is the
And
chart of
because of
accounts
this
this drop down option. So if
you know BSX,
you will give your
and
chart
you
of
should
accounts,
have that offsetting entry. You will see all the available GL accounts. This much of amount to your vendor.
is nothing but
So
a
this is
list of
the
GL accounts,
191100 available account
this
which
chart of
you
accounts.
maintained
Now you can
in WRX. What about this valuation grouping code? So valuation
So
grouping
if
code
you
is
go
one
here
concept
and
and we'll
see,
discuss. Here is valuation class also is one concept. So this is how system finds when we maintain this GL account. So whenever this equation is matching, movement then in this GL account will come. This is a OBYC screen. Well held. So this is the equation. If there is any doubt, your please valuation grouping code in the video. This is the valuation class, and this is the account you're gonna receive it. Let's do one transaction and see. Okay. So in the system,
since we have seen in the system like how these accounts have come, now let's understand some of the key components which we have discussed, right? When I say standard purchase order, as I mentioned, there are you can have consignment purchase order, standard purchase order. So for example, if you want to know clearly, you go to /n ME11 where you create your info records, like you have standard, subcontracting, pipeline, and consignment. So these four purchase orders you can create. So, but just for example, if you want to same ME21 only you use for standard purchase order, right? So let's do just get your organizations. Here, this item category differentiate this purchase order behavior. Okay, so your transaction code remains same for all the purchase orders: standard purchase order, consignment purchase order, subcontracting purchase order, third party purchase order, services purchase order, right? So your transaction code ME21 and remains same, and your view of this page remains same. The only thing is when you select this 11k, okay, and when you give your material and hit enter, so you will see automatically, so the behavior of the page got changed. If you see, the net price is grayed out and this conditions tab also has gone, because when it comes to consignment procurement, you will not see the price here in the system. It won't take from the pricing procedure concept, but it will take the prices from the consignment info record. That's the concept of consignment. So the moment when you give the item category here, the system change it's this page behavior. Let's say for example subcontracting L. So if you see subcontracting L, see again the net price is, but the behavior, the customization configuration of this page completely is becoming customizable by the SAP itself while you're selecting this item category, right? So this is the first thing we discussed. Now let's go to GR, goods received. So when you are receiving the goods, right? So the transaction is /n MIGO, right? In this transaction, you can goods receipt, you can do it against the purchase order, and you can goods also issue. Okay, so and you can do transfer postings also from, for example, 411k. This is 411k is consignment stock, and when you use it, you take the consignment stock ownership to your stock. You're transferring the ownership. Okay, so this is what you do. And whenever you do GR, right? So let's talk about GR. This is the stage you're actually moving your products. Either you are receiving, or you are either you are receiving, or you are issuing, or you are scrapping. All that is happening. So there is a material is received, means the value of the stock what you have till date got increased. There is a material which is you issued, you consumed, so value of the stock what you have till date, it got reduced. So there is a goods movement, meaning the value is moving. So when you receive, you're receiving the goods as well as the value of that goods, right? So your company has this much of worth of value in your inventory, right? So all these things should be tracked in that, in those GL accounts which we have seen, right? So whenever you came across GR, so because GR has movement type, so that movement type has the transaction keys. So for example, if it is a if this GR is for consignment PO, if it is a consignment PO, here your movement type will be 101 uh, 101k. So because of this 101k, you're going to increase your consignment stock, not your yeah, not your own stock, right? So the consignment has, again, they have a special GL account. So let's say, for example, this is G3, and to clear this this transaction, you will have another GBP. Actually, when it comes to consignment, GBP VBA is a modifier. Using this modifier, it thinks that it is a consumption of consignment stock, so it will give that particular GL account. It won't give the other than consignment consume GL account. Okay, so and we also have seen movement types. So this is the importance of the movement type. So movement type will have their respective transaction keys. So each movement differentiate what kind of transaction it is and how we are liable, if there is any liability. For example, if it is goods received, so you have to pay. If it is goods issue, you have to incur, right? So your balance sheet, your GL account, that particular GL account should be reduced, because that you just scrapped it, right? So it should incur in your somewhere in your GL account, so that this is what these many materials we scrapped it, so no use of it. So worth of the material, value of the material, value of the inventory has gone down, right? So that is one thing, and these are all transaction keys. By now you understood. So now let's talk about I mentioned as valuation class, right? value value we have spoken about this, right? Slash n. So MM03. So let's take one material. I'll just show you. So okay, it should be this, I guess. Okay, go to your accounting document view. Here, see, this is a valuation class. In this valuation class, you have these many valuation classes defined for this material. So this material, and this is the value material type. Okay, we will discuss now this concept, valuation class. So valuation class, why we need to discuss, because if you observe slash n OBYC, so in this screen, if you take BSX, after you have given chart of accounts, and this is where you see the valuation grouping code and valuation class, right? So to get the right GL account, these two are mandatory, right? If you don't maintain this valuation class or modifier, you saw the error message, right, that you can't fetch the right GL account. So now what is this valuation class, we will understand. So valuation class, so I will give you an example of, so valuation class, it actually classifies the um, type of the materials. Okay, I'll just come. So maybe this is not the right word. Let's say, for example, you have a material types. Okay, one material type is finished good, another one is raw materials, another one is trading goods. Okay, another one is your services. Okay, these are all material types, right? So So within this material, so for example, if you take only the finished product, so car is one finished product, bike is one finished product, right? So you want to, let's say this is your material type, and in within the material type you are creating one material as car, another material as bike. Let's say in the car you have um, um, so you have like hatchback, you have like yeah, sedan, and there are many models. So all these models are there. So now if you want to have one finished product with the hatchback model and sedan model, both are finished products only, right? But you want to see in your general ledger all hatchback cars, how much value, or how the sales are, or what kind of, what transactions are going on at hatchback value level, or one what is happening with sedan model. So if you want to have this bifurcation, but both of them are finished products only, right? But you want to if you want to track all finished products in one roof with one GL account. So for example, all finished products with one GL account. Now let's see. So this is car and this is bike, and in this bike you have like bikes and you have scooter, right? So you see, like, there are these are within the finished product itself. There are many I mean finished products. So with, even though there are many finished products, even the car is different and the bike is different. So what you thought, so let me have one GL account for cars at least and another GL account for bike, right? So this kind of scenario, you can't have GL account at finished products, so you will see full of confusion, like you can't make it. So how many are for bikes, how many are for cards transactions are in there in your GL account. So that's the reason SAP has come up with a solution called valuation class. So which means, so though it is your finished product, if you want to have only for car one GL account, do one thing. I will give you, like, you can assign this valuation class, okay, and you can get the respective GL account. Now if you understood, this is material and this is material type, and my valuation class is here, and I'm talking about like valuation and see GL account, right? My GL account is literally linked with this valuation class. Now let's understand where this valuation class has come from. This material type is finished product, right? And your material is hatchback car, and from this hatchback car, and you should be able to fetch the valuation class, and for that valuation class you should have your GL account. Let's say if you go to MM03, what we have seen, okay, /n MM03, this is the product, okay, go to directly to accounting one view. So this is the material, and this material you created using this material type jetfin, and this material type and this material is giving me this valuation class, right? This valuation class is giving me my GL accounts, O/O OBYC. So this valuation class BSX, right, giving me, oh, it's BSC, is it? Let's go to BSX. This valuation class is giving me this GL account. So if you want to get a, so which means you need to understand where these valuation classes are maintained, where they have been generated, where they maintained in SAP. So for that we should go to OMSK. OMSK is a transaction key. So go to /n OMSK. So this is the page, right? So if you want to know the path, you can also go to path /n SPRO. Okay, IMG. So this account determination will be under material management. You go to valuation and account assignment, and you go to account determination. You go to without wizard, and you go to yes, here, right, OMSK. If you see,
this valuation class is in the middle. Above you have account category reference, below you have material type, which means around valuation class there are another two concepts. One is so you, above you have account category reference, and here you have your material type. Let's see. So now your material type is your clear, that is finished product, right? And when it comes to valuation class, you have already sedan and hatchback. So what you do, that's where this valuation class comes in. So if you can't have GL account only for this and another GL account for this, no, better than that, you track at car level, right? So for that, you're going to create, okay, this is going to be your account category reference, which means you are, so this is one valuation class, this is one valuation class. Okay, let's say for example this valuation class is hatchback JED HAT, okay, and this is JED SCD. These two valuation classes are there for, so these two cars. But you can have so you can group these valuation classes and you assign to this account category. Okay, so your account category is going to be JED CAT, let's say this, okay, category. So which means if you assign this assign account category reference to your material type, so your material type is ZMAT material. If you assign this account category reference to your material type, so your material type should be able to give you this valuation classes. What if you assign your material type with this valuation classes? So you will see a single one entry and there is another entry. Like that there are many, right? All this will come. These are all for finished product, and there are another 5 or 10 will be for raw materials, another 5 or 10 will be for trading, another 5 or 10 will be services, and like that there are many, right, there are quite number of material types. So if you see that, you will have all these together in standard SAP. Usually in any company you will have at least 50 valuation classes. All these valuation classes in your material type, if you drop down, all these things will come. So it will be very difficult. Whoever is creating the material slash n mm01, whoever is creating the material, let's say for example you take this, so you take this industry sector and you take this material type. So this is someone, whoever is creating this. So if you see, I just give one name for us to go further. Go here, accounting on view. Accounting on view I want. Here the one who is creating, they should be able to see what valuation class this particular material is belong to, right? You will, in this scenario, if you don't maintain account category reference, grouping the valuation classes for only finished product, what you will see all the valuation classes of all material types. Very difficult who is maintaining this, who is creating this material. So that's the reason what SAP has come up with an idea like account category reference. Its duty is only just grouping the valuation classes of one material type, so that whenever you create, because this material you're creating using with this material type, right, you can see this material type is inside, right? So for example, take one for us to see the system. So for using this FERT material type, and you're creating your material and it has these valuation classes, right? If you create this material using slash n mm01, I just selected finished product, right? Now let's select something like semi-finished product standard, right? If you can go and you give a plant, give your service location, and just give something for us to go to accounting one view. Okay, just go here, accounting one view. If you see now, semi-finished product 7900 7100, right? So like this, again, if you see this material type, it will be a differ. So let's say for example, okay, this is halb. So halb has this kind of valuation classes. This way what happens, so within the finished product, within the material type, you can have a group of valuation classes combining with account category reference. It's easy to have valuation classes according to the uh, you know material type. So if you see here in this view, first you create your account category reference, just a number, nothing, it's just a bridge, right? And you create your valuation classes, just numbers again, and you're categorizing. So what class? So one is for hatchback, one is for sedan, right? So and then come back, and if you can click here, so here you will assign your material type with your account category reference. Okay, if you don't have this account category reference, so if it is half, so what happens, you have to have one more half with this one, right? And you'll have one more half with this one, and you'll have one more half with so many, right? Like that, as I mentioned, 50 will be there. So one material type, you will have 50 valuation classes to assign, otherwise system will not work. That's the reason. So we have come up, SAP has come up with this account category reference. You assign this assign category reference, and this account category reference has these many valuation classes. So for example, if you see, so this is the account category reference. It has this 7900717910. So for example, if you see this 7920 for finished product, like that. So if you have any other, you see this one is for keyboard, one is for mouse, one is for webcam, and all are belong to raw materials. So they had one account category reference. So this is how the valuation class comes into the picture. Now talk about valuation grouping code, right? So if you see in OBYC screen /n OBYC, so go to your BSX and give your chart of accounts, and here it is INT. So if you see, INT should be there, transaction key BSX should be there, uh, valuation grouping code should be there, valuation class should be there. But when you are processing /n ME21N, when you're processing your purchase order, I have not seen anywhere you are giving the chart of accounts, right? From where this chart of accounts are coming in this, and without you see the chart of accounts in your purchase order, but system able to give you this GL account. You understood, right? So in this purchase order, you never seen anywhere the chart of accounts that you enter, right? And BSX you have seen after posting GR, right? And based on the movement type. And valuation group you have not seen anywhere, and valuation class, of course, it is available in your material, that you know, right? So it will be there in your material valuation class. If you go to accounting one view, so this is a plant, this is a storage location. Okay, so my plant here is different. So okay, you see, and this is your, so valuation grouping code, from where the system is speaking valuation grouping code, and in chart of accounts, because BSX you know that is coming from through the movement type. The movement type is coming from your GR, goods receipt, right? So now from where this chart of accounts are coming, and valuation grouping, valuation grouping code is coming. Valuation modifier it means, but that's also called as valuation grouping code. So now this valuation grouping code concept also is very important. Like for example, you have this your company code, okay, and under your company code you have plant 1, plant 2, right? Like that you have for example 6 plants are there. So you want these 6 plants to have one chart of accounts, which means the chart of accounts, always remember, it has set of GL accounts, right? So if you don't have this valuation grouping code, what will happen, you have to, one plant should have one, another, all single you should have. Instead of that, what SAP has given, so these are all plant, we also call as valuation areas. At plant level only, SAP recommends to value your goods, right? So now you will group all these valuation groups, and you will assign this group to your chart of accounts, INT. Okay, in this example we have seen INT, so I took here as INT. Okay, then now let's go and see. So for example, now this is my material, right? So material is assigned with purchase order. So if you see slash n mm03, it will definitely ask me what plant, right? So material is assigned to plant, and plant is assigned to company code, and company code is assigned with chart of accounts. Okay, clear, right? So this plants, if you don't have uh, the valuation grouping code, what will happen? You should have, so one chart of account here. Let's say for example plant 1, and you can't use the same chart of accounts, same GL accounts, right? Each and every plant will have one individual chart of accounts. So like this, for example, if anybody wants at the company code level wants to see the overall operations of company, how they are doing operations, they have to go through each and every plant, and they can't have one GL account, which also might be useful in this plant. For example, if you see this plant here, this you can have, maybe these 3 plants are in India, okay, and these 3 plants are there in USA. So now what you do, you can have in this case chart of accounts, one chart of accounts. So, and this is for another chart of accounts. This is making sense, right? So because this country has a different way of accounting and all, this country has different way of accounting, so it is meaningful if you have so individual chart of accounts when it is really a business specific. Otherwise it's better to have one chart of account for all the plants, so that it is easy for us to see what's happening at the company code level. Okay, I hope this clear.